Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Wednesday the 14th of June. Here you can see we have our live currency strength indicator tables in front of us, and today we've actually got quite a lot of currencies that have appeared on the table. We've still got Oz and Pound as our stronger currencies at the moment, and we still have Yen and Swiss on the weak side, but we can see that the US dollar has now appeared on the weak side, and we can see that the Australian dollar has now removed itself from the top spot of the day traders and has been replaced with the New Zealand dollar as well. So there's going to be some potential here if we start to see the New Zealand dollar appear on the trend trader side of the table. That's going to offer us some new opportunities to look at, but we're going to stick around the Aussie and the pound today, including pound Swissy. I think is going to be the one to watch going forward. I've got a couple of orders sitting in the background here that I'll take you through in a second, but looking at the potential for pound Swissy to continue to the upside. So if we just go over pound Swiss first, we'll come back to pound yen. Pound yen was an interesting market that we looked at yesterday for a long opportunity, but unfortunately we missed the entry by spread. So we'll talk about that one in a second here, but we're going to have a look at pound Swissy first. So pound Swiss, why are we interested in this chart? Well, if we go up to the weekly time frame here, we can see that price recently traded through this trend line resistance. We're rallying to the upside and we're approaching a key level of interest now. So we've got that 115 to 115.50 as a potential for targets in this market. So I'm looking for opportunities to get long on pound Swiss, with 115.50 being the sort of main area to target. Now, looking down at the hourly chart, there's a couple of interesting areas that I like the look of on pound Swiss. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and we're going to have a look at what's going on here. Now you can see I've got the 114 handle marked in here as well. That was an area where prices recently found support. So this morning prices come into that level. We've rallied from that level. Prices now come into sort of the top here. So we've got this kind of range being developed. Now that could present us with a decent opportunity that if price was to come back to the range low, could we then look for a long entry back to the upside here? And that's what I'm going to be looking at today, because we've also got the 50 moving average coming in below this area as well as this sort of trend line support. So price is working within a daily bullish, or sorry, an hourly bullish channel. We've got the 50 moving average running through here as well as the horizontal support. Now we could be looking at the lower area here for an entry as well. So you've got that sort of 1385. The problem is we've got this 114 whole number that rests above it, and I think the market is more likely to find support here than it is down there. Now price has broken through the 50 moving average before, down through here for instance, and continued to rally, so there is potential for price to break below this level, but I think if we trade anywhere below the sort of 113.70, then price is more likely going to trade 20 to 40 pips lower regardless. So looking at an entry at around about 114.10 today. Looking to see if price will pull back into that 114.10, and then looking for price with a sort of 40 pip stop loss, looking for targets up around about that 115 level. Now the reason why I'm looking at an entry at 114.10 is because if you are following along with the trade, you can see that some of the trades didn't trigger, and one of those was pound yen. Now depending on what platform or who your broker is, then you may or may not have been triggered into this. Now we are trading with Pepperstone for this account, and Pepperstone we didn't get triggered, unfortunately. Now the reason why that is because it was a major news event, and spreads tend to widen on those larger news events, and what we saw was the spread widen. Even though price came into our level, the spread wasn't covered. So essentially price has come through that entry point there and has closed back above, and then prices continue to the upside. So again, depending on your brokerage, depending on the spreads at that point of the high impact news, would have determined your entry into this market. Now, if you did get triggered and you are entered, you are 180 pips to the good, and you're, happy days. You're laughing really up to the next level of resistance up at the 177s. If you're still in from down at the 174.50 as well, so we cancelled this order because pound yen fell away from the tables. However, if you kept that in, you're around 240 pips to the good as well. So unfortunately for us, just not getting the right entries at the moment in terms of, just looking out a little bit at the minute. But at the end of the day, we didn't lose any money either. So we're still in the game. Still looking for opportunities to the upside, and that's the most important thing. Now, another chart of interest was Aussie yen as well. Aussie yen also missed our entry by about a pip or so. So if we just go into Aussie yen and just go into the hourly time frame, our entry yesterday was 94.25. Okay, and yeah, you can see here we missed our entry by about a pip plus spread. Again, the news event drove prices lower, but it didn't quite drive prices into our entry area, and unfortunately price then rallied 75 pips in our favor. Now, Aussie yen still tops the trend traders, obviously still featured here on the day traders, so there's a possibility that Aussie yen can continue to press higher. My only concern is at the moment is that we're at that 95 level that we pointed out as targets now. So I personally am going to sit and wait for this to kind of mature and play out, see if it breaks higher. If you are still interested in Aussie yen, you can still look at entries a little bit lower, perhaps the 94.40 or even sort of which is just down through here. Problem with that is then you're breaking through the 50 moving average there as well, which can tend to sort of lead to some further downside. So you can see here all the way pretty much prices traded at the 50 moving average. We've broken through, so that 94.40 is just below that, and we might see it hold there. So there's potential for Aussie yen to continue higher, but I would just sit out of this one now because we are at that level. And I think, to be honest, pound Swiss has got the risk reward ratio, that we can work with. So yeah, pound Swiss one to watch. I am watching Aussie Swiss as well, to be honest, as well, for another potential entry here. I've still got an entry down towards the 61 handle. So if I just open my Aussie Swiss chart on the other screen, yeah, I've got an entry around about the 61.10 here, with my stop loss just below this low here. So I've used the full ATR stop on this one. Reason being is because we're breaking below the 50 now, so I want to see if that holds as support. We did find support here at the 61.20 recently. If that can hold as support, price will potentially trade up towards the 0.62 handle, which is this high that formed back on the 4th of April. So there's still potential there as well, but looking to see how price reacts basically. And like I said, pound Swissy for me is the one to watch, and we are getting pretty close to entry now. So yeah, we'll see if price can enter. I think we may start to find some support around about this 114 handle, and let's see if we can trade back to the upside there. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll speak to you in the next one.